Well, welcome to the follow-up after show, kind of a web extra for the viewers that watch the big show with our president and CEO of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, Matt Felan. We got a lot more to talk about. So one area we didn't get to in the big show that had to do with the mental health sort of partnership initiative. Matt Samaki, who's on your team, was on the show here, maybe a year ago to talk about that. Where are we with that? Obviously, it's critically important post-pandemic, a lot more mental health issues.
Yeah, I will tell you, it is one of those things that, why regionalism exists. Mental health is just one of those issues that it impacts everyone. It doesn't stop at an imaginary dotted line that, connects counties. It's a problem we see everywhere. One of our staffers is dating a gentleman who's in the healthcare field. And, she shared that, a lot of challenging times through the holidays, right, where people get pretty down and the attempted suicides rise, and you look and you're reminded every day people are struggling. Even people that you think are the strongest, that think, gosh, they have to be, the last person you would think about. Robin Williams always comes to mind, right? So this is an initiative that's really been active. We're proud to be the home to really an independent group that's building up this initiative. They're really focused in a few areas. Number one is really the stigma piece. Right. So many people don't seek mental health care because it's embarrassing, right? Or they don't want to talk about their feelings or their problems. Or for a lot of men or different even racial and ethnic groups, it's tough. I'm Latino. A lot of Latino men do not want to talk about feelings. There's kind of a cultural machismo. Right. We'll handle this ourselves. So it's really getting people to understand that this affects everyone, and how do we tear down the stigma? So we've been part of a relatively large stigma campaign where people tell their stories within their company. They tell them through our website. They tell them through videos we do. We go out and talk about it all the time, those of us that are involved in it, to help break down those stigmas. Really getting, I think, more employers to understand that they may have a duty to look at mental health differently. So J.W. Fisher with the Fisher Companies has been our chair. And he had, this kind of realization that his company needed to do more. And he became the model for how I don't know if I would call Fisher a small business, a moderate-sized business.
Sure.
He looked at it and said, you know what? Our guys are not getting the help they need. We're not talking about it enough. We don't talk about it at safety. We're not doing enough to help on the insurance side. And JW built this incredible model that now other employers can look at and figure out how they can impact it. And the last one is, and this one, may not be one that a lot of people think about, is provider well-being.
Sure.
It is tough to be a mental health provider.
A lot of burnout
yourself.
There.
A lot
it's
of burnout.
Hard work. Yes.
They have long days. They take a lot in. So imagine, just like school bus drivers are hard to find these days, right? Mental health providers are tough to find, and they burn out and they move or they stop or they don't take as many people. The demand is high, so it's making sure our providers are well taken care of. And I think we're going to see even more work on that front, but we also know whether it's teens, high school students, there are certain segments like the LGBTQ community. Our youth in that community has a very high risk of potential mental health or suicide issues. So there's a lot more we want to tackle, and we want to engage more people in the region, but Matt and that group are doing really some amazing work that is just so needed here across the region.
Yeah, and what J.W. Fisher is doing, in fact, he was on the show as well with Matt about a year ago. It's another great way, not only is it the right thing to do, but a great way to attract and keep employees that know that if I have a mental health issue, this company and my bosses are behind me, they're going to help me through it, and I'm going to be better for it. So hopefully that catches on.
One more thing to add, and I think J.W. is brilliant with this.
Yeah.
Besides being the right thing to do, it's the right business decision. Because if you have in his case, a foreman or a leader in his company that's out due to a mental health issue, and they're not performing or they're not getting the care they need, and you can tell that something's wrong and they're not producing, it can cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of productivity, errors, things that aren't going right. When you make those investments, just like if you or I were to break our arm, we would get immediate care, right? And our employers would be there right away to make sure that we were healed and fixed. If you do the same thing with mental health, you keep people productive in your workforce.
Right.
And I think JW found that, and I hope other employers do, besides being the right thing to do, you can also do better business and make money.
Funny how that works, right? And the other challenge, that whole mental health piece, just a need for more counselors. We need more folks that need to get educated in that, because it seems like a lot of times getting that help right away because you don't have enough counselors, but that's something we have to work on. Going to change gears. Let's talk about your Leadership Institute. You have something called Regional Ambassadors. So if somebody who's watching the show, which they hope they are, like to be involved in the Regional Alliance, this seems like a great guy to work for, or the Alliance to work for. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so being an ambassador means that you're a graduate of our leadership class. So this was actually the start of, kind of the Great Lakes Bay region movement about, say 12 to 15 years ago. They started with a leadership class, and how do we just get the great leaders of this region in the room together to learn about the region? How do you get leaders in Bay to better understand Saginaw and Midland? That's kind of where it started. We've expanded it now so that it's all 4 counties. It's Bay, Saginaw, Midland, and Isabella counties. We take about 40 to 50 leaders from across the region that join us for a class every year. When I say class, it is 8 sessions throughout the course of the year. We start in April, we go through November. We're in each county twice. We sneak down to Lansing to the state capitol to meet with legislators and really kind of talk about the importance of politics and good political advocacy and how we bring dollars back. But the 2 things that I would say that it does, number one, it gets a lot of people who maybe didn't know one another to really know one another, build relationships, across the counties. But then in each class, we go and we venture out and do all kinds of things. So a few examples would be, we spend a day at the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational in Midland, and they get to see a world-class golf outing with, some of the best women professional golfers in the world, and it's a great time when we're highlighting this entire region every year, and a lot of people have not been to that yet. We go out on the Appledore, and we actually teach from sea. We will teach a little bit about STEM and the water. We teach, as we're going through, bridges, rail, Lake State Rail, consumers energy, shipping, whether it's Wirt or Sargent or our friends at Fisher with Bay Aggregate, and we talk about the importance of those things while we're on the Appledore so that they go and they get to see and experience. And we go out on the bay and we tell the story of the importance of water. And each class is a little bit different. Some are maybe a little bit more classroom setting where you're learning directly from people, and some may be a little bit more hands-on, and sometimes we just roll up our sleeves and volunteer. We've taken a group out to Sanford to help with cleanup following the floods and clean up lots and try to help the Sanford community come back. But when you're done, you're officially an ambassador of the region and kind of part of our army of people that go out and tell our regional story.
Boy, that sounds attractive and enticing, because you're not sitting around a conference table. You're going out, kind of an adventure to learn how to get through this. That's amazing.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, whether it's out at MBS Airport. The most fun we had last year, the first time we've done it, in April we went to Dow Diamond and really got to see how they operate as a business, how they operate in the community. And we had our class members shooting T-shirt guns and making commercials and announcing over the speaker and really getting a better understanding. And every time that we put this class on, there's some things that kind of become favorites and we repeat, and then we learn new things and we try new things. One of my favorites through the years has been curling at the Midland Community Center.
Done that.
You know, how often do you get to curl and you realize, wow, that looks really easy on TV. When you're doing it, wow, it is really not so easy. So there's so many cool things we get to do here in the region.
Yeah, that curling center is a hidden gem here. A lot of people don't know. I did it once too. It's hard, but it was kind of fun. So you're going to close the after show with 2 things. If you want to be a regional ambassador and do the Leadership Institute, where do you go? And if they want to find out more about the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, where do they go?
Both, we can do the same thing. Go to the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance website. You just Google search it. It's greatlakesbay.com. Really easy to get to. The other is go to our Facebook page. We're on social media everywhere. We're Facebook page, Twitter. We're on Instagram. But on there you can find links all about the region. We really try to use the website to highlight the region and who we are. On there you can find a link that will allow you to apply for the 2023 class. We're taking applications now. So if you want to go and be a part of the golf outing and go on the Appledore and meet a whole heck of a lot of great people that you didn't know existed in the county next door, come and apply and take part. I guarantee you'll have a blast.
You may see my application.
I love it.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Great way to end the year for the follow-up. We'll be back on January 10th. You have a great holiday and a Happy New Year. Always great to see you.
You too. Happy holidays, Mike. Thank
And
you.
Thanks for joining us on the After Show.